Yesterday, President Joe Biden signed into law the Omnibus Spending Bill. This is going to be providing additional funds to Ukraine and also more government funding. Now, take a look at articles coming out that this Biden signs a massive spending bill into law that dedicates billions to Ukrainian aid. One of the things that not included, but is now going to become the primary focus is more additional stimulus funds to help combat the pandemic and also to help us out with the increased gas prices. We have been hearing tons of talks about more stimulus phases, more specifically stimulus checks, as they are saying we need something to combat these increased gas prices. These already been released from lawmakers' plan for quarterly checks. Economists are coming out and saying we need monthly checks. These are federal level stimulus checks that they are talking about putting back on the table, and talks about this are increasing. The possibility is increasing, have more checks. Let's dive into the latest on economic news and what's unfolding but was signed and the pay forward stimulus. Biden signed a massive spending bill into law that dedicates billions to Ukrainians. Now, the article says that President Biden on Tuesday yesterday signed a massive spending bill into law that included $13.6 billion in the new aid to Ukraine, saying during the signing ceremony that the new assistance shows that the United States is moving urgently to further armament to support to the brave people of Ukraine as they defend their country. And he said, "Today, we are again showing the American people that as a country, we can come together as a Democrats and Republicans and independents and do big things that our democracy can deliver and outperform autocracies, and that there's nothing that we can do when we do it together." Biden told the audience of lawmakers now the Russia's invasions, Biden said, has united the people all across America. United are two parties in Congress and united the freedom-loving world to act with urgency and resolve that we are doing right now that you provide with the ability to do. Biden is expected to detail the U.S. assistance to Ukraine in the new remarks. So that's going to be unfolding today. Now, the CNN passed this spending bill known as the Omnibus late on Thursday on a bipartisan vote of 68 to 31. And this was a pretty quick effort. Now, this omnibus will be providing funding through the fiscal year of 2022, which started back in October. Finally, we've got an official bill. We funded and we are set. Now, this included Ukrainian aid and government funding, but the omnibus bill does not include additional pandemic response related funding. One of these things that they wanted to include in there was more funding to help combat the pandemic and provide additional stimulus spending. However, they were trying to repurpose existing funds from the American Rescue Plan. In March of 2021, there was $350 billion allocated to go out to states, countries, and cities to provide to their local residents. In many cases, they've been massive stimulus packages and also stimulus checks. Apparently, lawmakers saw that sitting there and said, "Hey, they didn't use it. Let's take it and put it into this bill and provide more stimulus funding." However, we're hearing that those localities came out and said, "No, we never got our money. That's supposed to be ours. We are not going to let you take it. And we are not going to let you use it in this new bill because we have not gotten our share of additional stimulus fund from that $350 billion in the American Rescue Plan, so that got cut out." They passed it as easy, and it had now gone through. They tried to pass more stimulus assistance, more funding, but it was not included in this bill. Now is very likely, especially with the increased gas prices. Lawmakers in Congress are also going to be turning their attention to provide the additional stimulus. They are going to have to be on board because it was not going to be adding to the debt. They were relocating existing funds that had not been spent. Currently, lawmakers have released a new bill proposing that we tax oil companies, and we then distribute in the form of stimulus checks that would also not add to the debt. So they are trying to come up with creative ways to provide direct assistance and payment to people without adding to the deficit. If they can do that, it's going to become very more so likely that we could see more stimulus checks. However, if they have to issue out new funds, that's going to be really hard, especially Republicans who are very concerned with the debt. And that is why through the traditional means needing 60 votes in the Senate, we have not seen any new stimulus package or provisions that are supported by Republicans. Well, progressive calling upon Biden to pass these two executive orders. And from Bro Miller, head of the Progressive Caucus in the House of Representatives, that she said, they are actually right now assembling a list of executive orders and actions they like to see the president pass. They are going to be handing it off to him, see what he does. In addition to that, they passed last year's stimulus reconciliation bill, the Build Back Better bill, the revising and revamping that we are going to be seeing what they are agreed upon and what they are going to pass through, and that is now becoming the focus of Congress. So all of these stimulus packages, stimulus checks is starting to ramp up and become the primary focus. It's going to get pushed to the forefront.